Good morning, everyone. Today, for the first time, as we all know, the Department of Political Science, Govt Champhai College is organizing a workshop on fundamental rights and duties. The department owes special thanks to our ICA coordinator, Dr. Lalfak Omi, for inspiring us to organize this program. So this year, one of our core political science students, Kam Kantonga Ketia, holds 6th position in the final semester examination under Mizoram University. Today, we have invited him as a special guest. The department deeply congratulates him on his brilliant success, and we are very proud of him. His success will inspire others to do their best, and best wishes for your future, Katie. Now I will invite him to deliver speech on whatever he wants to say. Please stay tuned, okay? Tuna chuan Katie Mizoram University exama 6th semester political science paruk na kanso mga adu do soy ron soy turin kanso me.
In government college principal sarminte political science chodi sar dialogue Champhai college jirtir tu thok zong zong tele student zirlai puite zong zong chunga le staff invite in zap min sapna wangin long su tang meu ni initiative kami tu kan thonga ya Katie din min ko na ke adi hi sai intervenga me kan ni pasari pe chia ni le ni pa pangam ni ya ke ma hi na ang berla matangap thumna kaniya.
Katie, please put on your video. Okay.
Kau chưa thể
I video ka on ro le. I video ka on ro.
ihan na time
Avalong low thot.
ma đây na madam
Say ro le.
Kau chưa thể mo ole sign kan moderate ta mi chung long thu ei du Champhai ko sa kan pa som tak charming te le political science kan ni chodi sar dialogue le Champhai ko le sa kan zirti tu te zong zong le ka zir la ui te zong zong chunga le no staff Champhai ko le sa thok zong te chunga in Champhai chunga in mi support na wangin long thu ka sei du tak me ni in share chongin ke ma ka mi chu kam thonga ni ya Katie tia ko chin kan ni ka hian Champhai interview kan cheng ne ka ke ma hi una pasari kan ni ya ke anau pang berla changa pan na kan ni tuna hian kanu ha sanghi ha kanu ha bol sana tu hian ka pa hui Champhai interview kan me kan ni sai na sei du chu sanghi somni atanga sanghi somni pakhat se jona han government Champhai college SU magazine editor na chel me kania tin SSU student self support union president ni me kani le voini hian kazir lai pui tu om tak tak te ne na advice kan nge message kan don nge chete soi ka wa ama saber zir lai ka yangin hemi study life hian poi mo tak tak pum pel thei lo khami tel lo wa lo tin na lo thil poi mo tak aoma chung jinga poi mo ka ti deuh point thum chu karon soi do na ni point number 1 na chuan tumna nei ania tumna nei hi tha ka ti ama sabra ta chuan tumna nei tha ka ti zirlai kan ni emo lekha kan zir to lo emo he ko vela kan chung chuan tumna kan nei hi chu ka ti ya abigin mishing tumna nei lo chu tui luang lo ang hi nia engma ma so na lo ni hemi zui hian keima aim in life chete ron sui kayo ka tu tula hian MA political science zom ka tu ma chu mi zwa PhD zom le tumin PhD degree ka nei nuwa civil service lama IAS exam pe ka tuma kami IAS a han thin ni po ka tuma kami IAS a ka tho ai lo den nuwa MP member of parliament ni ka tuma kami kum nakina karon sui zel nga emi ema em life in zona am ve theya tu mi dang pul chang te po hian min ve thina chung de chu engwanga civil service exam tum si master zir ma sange PhD zir phot nge BA chang na tingai direct lo ti haum ve ni tu chu kan sei lok duwa master zir chung le PhD vel kan zir chunga kan le experience zong kha ka du na kha chu thu ran ni se PhD hi India rama zir na sang berania khawangan PhD degree kana te dang khan nei ka tum shi ka ot ma khawan PhD ha zik mas ka kan ni IS itum nge ini ile engwanga member of parliament ni tum nge ini ti zona ve ina tu ka ile do nga anau patet primary school kalai trong tan kapayan afa te ke ani bula hian lekha te chadewin zero la tai matakin zero la nakina officer lian tak IS in ron ni donia tin min fui ver hin ni chungula chun ka pon IS nge ni ti are teng lu big lo amar chu IS officer lian tak ani ti sia mi tam tak te na an ngai san ni ha wa kha han min pui chho char chara chu mi min fui na chu keimaril ruwa in tu chowin tun thleng hian ka le khazir na kong zong zonga primary ni atma tun college level khazir na zong zonga khai keimatil tu IS le MP zui char chan le ha kala zirani tin MP ka tum than tak kha chu MP ka tum na kha chu alai lowa Champhai college ka lu nu atum ve nun o ka kania ka tum ber po keni Mizoram cheng te hi India rama state te berpol anni angin central tang nek chem nana sa ma central nala ka ni se tin tun anglai rena border issue anga ni se sakhona lam pa po ni se ni mi te hi nek chem ma nam te nau ka ni nam dang te in musit te ma chu wang jon he Mizoram atang hi chuan Mizoram tan hian ti thei kha te me mani chu wang central nu ya enge mo bera enge ka du wanga este MP tumpo kan boga MP ka tum berpo he thiam ne fin na thlem te pi Mizoram an ram le ta te tu le par lo la zel tu ta na su tu ni le kai foi tu ni ka du e ma chu wanga ni tum kan ya kan sei tum tak jok chu zirla kan ne tum na kan nei tu ni chu mi kan tum na zul zui chuan kan le khazir na te kan thil na tin nga te khami kan tum mil khan kan kal turani chu ti chuan lo tin a oma khami tum na nei lawa kan zir pop chuan tùy bản tì bằng ha mà son nam thầy lâu chú vay tụm na đấy lá khami tụm na ha nên khan zero ram một tin zero lại bùi tê tê là các xã tụm châu này point number 2 chuan tụm ru na hi point một cái tí em boka begin cái ni zero lại na bằng tê tam khán lệ khá zero na con oh hello nó hello lâu sẽ tiếng mula kan som lenga tụm ru na hi po đi place now pang place your life ngin egan zira yan mi house tak fa mili tak fa te sumdong house fa ko an lang ani chuan engma college fees le I thomno la po ni se engki ma har na nei lo ang chuti line zir line na pang tam tak chu ya I support liao chung te lama tang poisa engma thonom lo mani tho chu ne na fees vel pe ati khan zir la ne ali college kal ve trok te po kan tamang laya takhin ka sei chu tumru na nei kan house re sana kan to kem kan to lo tumru na te hi poi mo ni e po first year le second year kan ni live vel khan achangin ka thung te lama tang hi chon college fees le khabu man tur vel hi chu min pe vek chin ma se pocket money tur le keima enge man chop tur lunch aina tur velang chi hi chu engma min pe vak ngai lo ni ka chung ten cheerless year kan ni la ten dan sanga thilai tur min hian cái chun cái to kapur ye min lo vai san mai ro tin chak thina chung hula ai chak lo tin tu ama chu poisa kan ei mi han ai to ang khan gai se ti han chian te na min kal san tur han kan ka ti ta thin ni chu tiang bo ruak kan ton lai chuan ril ru hi na ve the me wa voi tam tak kan tu kaula ka mit tui te tla ni amai ro kan thi che me ma mi lo se thiemu da kan sei chun som le lo kanga khatia har san na de boina sum le pai tang ni se corner dang dang tang ni se ka to chang te po han ke po alo be dong be thina ko le si ka ba nga na ka thok to mai do na mi le tinari lu te ka pu ve thina ni ma se kai ngai tua e ka har san na hi ke ma min ti down tu wa le nung lam hoi kirnan ka phang tur ni lo he har san na ka to hi na kina lo thin na ka chan huna ka testimony ro pui tur ni ti ha karil ru han aron lang lian e ma khami wang han buang loi ti han ka ti ve chang changa tum ru takin ti han ka zir chum zom le zela chu wanga tun din muni thang thei in ma voi ni thu te po soi thei kan ya chu wangin ka zir lai pui te ne na ka cha du chu har san na le boina kan to chang te po hian beidong mai loila nunglam hoi kirnan mang mai loila kha kan har san na le mangan na kan boina to te ha min pus tu ni thei se a ke ma ni tumram min khen tir tu ke ma ni min fui tu ni jok se tin a ka cha du tak meu meu jang ni ti chuan a point thum na le a to ber na ta na ka sei du chu a thu fing te bung khat chang sarina pathian tri hi fin na bulani pathian tri hi fin na bulani ti in ziaga hemi hi thaga ti em ma dik po ka ti boga kanuna hian kap lai ni ke ma tang experience ka ne ya a pathian tri hi fin na bul ani mai ba ka pathian tri hi lo thin na ni tel boga ni ti ha voin ni hian sei ka duwa a chan po a college kan ka lai pon ke hi chen ngai na em mi ka ni ya a changin thian te nen kan partia changin choi khom te kan hoi ho thini chung huna chuan thian ten rui thei thil zuk le huam vel anti line ke chu ti chak ve hle ma ila ka in sum sham shama ke chun ka ti lo mai nge tin ka lo nar ve thina ni ka nar na chan po ka ti chak lo wang ko ni lo chak chu ka chak lu tu ma se eng wang nge ti chuan pathian in ka taksa le tharau bol lo turin min du lo ani pathian in ke ma hi thiang him tur min duwa adu lo zong te ti lo turin min du ni ti ha ka he me ma khami ka shen na han min ti tir phal lo zo kha ni ya tin le khazir huna ka zir maya zanin khom huna te chunin khom huna te ka chun ngai chung lo ni ti han ka theyang to pin pathian tan kain manga ko shan le ko tang tan kain manga ti chuan le khazir do na te po direct in le ha kazir hal pop ngai lo bible ka chiar nen bul ka chana ti khan bible ka chiar zo ka zir du apiang te chu zirin ti khan ni tin zan tin le ha ka zir thini chu tianga pathian tri chung zela pathian ron chung zela eng kim ka tina pathian lalber tira ka ti chinna ra voin ni hen ka seng nin ka ria pathian in mal min som tuna ka hlotlin na top 6 hial ka ni theina chan po pathian mal som na wang liao liao ani ti hi voin ni ka sei do chu wain ka zir lai pui tak te thena ka sei non le du chu tum mu mal kan nei turani ya kha kan tum kan gol kha tum ru na nen pathian tri chungin pathian za chungin tum ru na nen kan benga ti chuan kan tum ram chu thlengin lo thin na kan chang don ani ti hi voini hian ka sei non le du ni ato berna tan he ka lo thin na hian mi poimo tak tak anoma chung te chu Champhai college kan zir ti tu te ni se tin higher te high school middle primary ka kal to na zong zonga kan zir ti tu min zir ti to tu zong zong te annia anni hin poimo em anni tel lo chuan engma ke ma mai chuan engma kan ni lo chu wangin he ka thot lin na hian kan zir ti tu te hi mi poimo tak annia in ne na po lom thu ka sei du tak meu mewa nakina hun lo la om zel tu ra po zirlai thatak hei ai zirlai thazok in nei theya abikin Champhai college government Champhai college hi hei ai hian a thleng sang the ni ti shareng chuin hei ai na sazual in thei na le in thiam na te sor khomin tuna in ti ai na sazual in chan han la le ula hei ai hian kan college hi ala sang the ni ala ming tha the ni ala in bor the ni ti ka cha du tang meu meu cheu ni ka lo me
ole alo bom hle mei ka tong sia tem
Yes, miss.
ti kha din sia mo
Sia the ya.
alo mom hle mei ke tia mal som na dong tlak takin anun alo manga kha ke ni azir ti tu te pon kan shere reng lowa anun shim po kha en ton tlak takania voinia hetiang soi thei na hun anei te hi kan lom pui zual em ani a omom hle ani tin ke ti hi kap mu dan kan soi ve shim anga zir ti tu kan angin mitum ru tak zirlai tum ru tak zirlai po thiam tung tak mai tarma bera thuchin ania tin a thiam lo po min zot zel thin mi kha ani tin I enton Clark ne pakhat chu classical regular ania a thul ngai lawa heta hian thil sha ren ke pon kan nei chu voi khat chu an class kaldan attendance ka chut hi kapuang ani an class a first semester ani lai khan chuan voi khat kal lovin a hming kha alo in da sia ka kapuang kha aron kala madam ka kal ki masin atia mase an record ang ba kha ka ti dang lam theilawa athinarim em ti po ka ria mase athin rim kha kalom ani voi khat kal lo po poyati em mai kha ke ma chuan kaloma kha ama po ka share reng na hi ani aloma me ke tia kan lom tak mewa hey SU ni chunga rank holder ni thei ani te hi zirlai te ta na enton tlak takani ain thada chuang lawani Govt Champhai College thok zong le zirlai ten kan chuang tak chia ikal le zel na tura po du sakna kan lan che ani kan lo me ketia. Okay, the topic for today's workshop is, as we all know, fundamental rights and duties. We have two speakers, one of which will be on fundamental rights. So fundamental rights, they were included in the Indian Constitution because they were considered essential for the development of the personality of every individual and to preserve human dignity. In this connection, legal and political justice has been provided in the form of fundamental rights. Madam Laro Parikhyang Te, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, Govt Champhai College, will touch this topic. Madam Partey joined Govt Champhai College in June 2007. She got through NET in 2005. She had published one article. She is currently life member in professional bodies like Mizoram College Teachers Association, Mizoram Political Science Association, Mizoram History Association, and Geography Association of Mizoram. We have such kind of learned professor today to speak about fundamental rights. Let me invite her. Madam Partey, please take your time.
Okay, thank you, Madam. Am I audible?
Yes, Miss, you are audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Okay, my topic is with regard to the fundamental rights. This is the one of the most controversial issue of the subject. The term fundamental rights, as requested by the coordinator of ICAC, I have to conduct my speech in English. So bizotrong khasutlep tiang chukaron hong tel thowanga tichuanin kan ICAC coordinator te kan workshop hlotin theina na malutu zongzong tele kan principal te kan host chunga khanin lom thu ka sedi and more importantly by two seniors, Sir HOD and Madam Hinte, who are more learned and more professional than me, but still giving me an opportunity to speak on this fundamental rights. As we already said, this fundamental rights is one of the most controversial issue of us, because there are many circumstances, there are many instances in which these fundamental rights are not how to say, is not valid or is not applicable. Is not applicable in India. So the term the term fundamental rights is it is a very popular, familiar, and obvious notion of to all of us. But still, like we say, history repeats the same story. We also need to repeat again and again what we have learned before. Not only to the students of political science, but to other students who are in other disciplines or subjects. They need to know, or they ought to know, the subject matter contained in these fundamental rights. When we talk about fundamental rights, the first question which comes to our mind is that what is fundamental rights? What is fundamental rights, and why it is incorporated in our constitution, and what are included in it? So here it is notable to say that it is notable to mention that the Great Britain, UK, United Kingdom. So in United Kingdom, they don't have these fundamental rights. This UK, from the past still to the present age, is one of the most powerful nations of the world. So in spite of their greatness, or in spite of their powerfulness, they don't have these fundamental rights. But India, we are very lucky to have our fundamental rights. And these fundamental rights are incorporated in our constitution, so that the Indian citizens can enjoy and protect their rights. But we must, one thing which we have to remember is that this fundamental rights is not absolute in character. Fundamental rights kan ithelesan chu engediang kan rights mo kan diknakha engediang kan constitution kan enjoy thenan le engediang protect turin mo khatang kan rights kan protect thenan khanin he fundamental rights hi kan constitution khanin telani amero chu kan sai to ngin khami fundamental rights kha absolute lawni. So let's move to the next slide. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So these fundamental rights, which incorporated in the Constitution, starts from Article 13 to 35 of the Constitution, and it is included in the Part 3 of the Constitution, covering Article 13 to 35 of the Constitution, deal with the fundamental rights. So as we have seen in the screen, originally there are 7 fundamental rights which are provided by the Constitution. That is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, rights to property, right to constitutional remedies. These are the 7 fundamental rights which are provided by the Constitution in the past. But what we witness is that one fundamental rights has been deprived from the Constitution, from the fundamental rights. That is, the 44th Amendment Act 1978 had deprived the right to property from the fundamental rights. The reason why these fundamental rights have been deprived from the Constitution is due to due to the reason that can be fundamental rights anti bonus and katsu again bidang again yang maltan kadin har saknate along athente awang kadin can be right to property hi constitution khan constitution kadin 44th Amendment Act 1978 kadin can be fundamental rights in right to property ka fundamental rights trong kadin again yang but however, though these fundamental rights have been, though this right to property has been deprived, have been done away from the fundamental rights, we still need it is still important to mention that this right to property is still a constitutional right under Article 300A of the Constitution, meaning that these fundamental rights, right to property is still a legal rights, but it is in name only. In name only, it is a legal rights, meaning that it is in name only. So right now we have only 6 fundamental rights. So I move to my next slide. The 6 fundamental rights. In the 6 fundamental rights, what we find is that the 6 fundamental rights are the right. These 6 fundamental rights cover from Article 13 to 35 of the Constitution. And there is a mistake here. Slide fundamental rights to Article 13 to 35 of the Constitution. So Article 34. The slide Article 13 is Article 13. Article 13 is just an introduction to fundamental rights. So I have mistaken this article. It is just an introduction of the fundamental rights, and that's to talk about what are the rights which are included in this fundamental rights, which are it does to talk about the rights. It is only an introduction to the fundamental rights, and this Article 13, as we see, as we know it, it is an introduction to the fundamental rights, and it deals with this Article 13 deals with laws which is inconsistent or in deterioration of the fundamental rights. So now, we'll move to the 6 fundamental rights which are contained in our Indian Constitution. The first one is right to equality. This right to equality is covers from Articles 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 of the Constitution. So in the right to equality, what we find first is Article 14. Article 14 is about equality before law. Equality before law. Article 14 is about equality before law. So this equality before law, in this provision also there are many controversial issues which arose attention between the citizens of India. This provision of fundamental rights is, as we said, it is a controversial issue. There can be many controversial issues in this article. The Constitution provides that, like in the eyes of law, all are equal. But the question may arise that are all of us are treated equal or equally in the eyes of law? So it is not a deniable fact that there is a wide gap of differences, between us, between the rich and the poor, the have and the have-nots, the upper class of the society, and the bottom, and those who are at the bottom level of the society. So special, there are so much differences between us. So like if hit that on house and antinami tilted hello de inkara kadin ka again yang gap more dan ha chon tu po kha it am tlang de tang ilain klaya kadin what gap atam zia kan hu the ni mo bitil te deu te le lo deu te kan chin ni chu bang chodin constitution khangin nge dang dan ma chon tu po in ang ti in soima selang helai ha ani lo zia kha lang chang em me di and here about the right. Am I talking so fast?
Network LCNS Wi-Fi
Okay. Am I talking too fast? Okay. Am I talking too fast?
A constitution fundamental.
Ma'am. Madam Mingte.
Oi.
Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Sorry.
Am I talking too fast? Okay. There is no response. Maybe I'm not talking too fast. I hope that I'm not talking too fast, because like it is this fundamental rights is it is a very vast. So like with regard to right equality, we can as we said, there is there is wide gap of differences in the eyes of law. Before the eyes of laws, though we are all equal, there is wide gap of difference between us. So like here, in conclusion, we may conclude that with regard to equality before law, we make what the words of Aristotle, that equals Aristotle is the father of political. He is a father of political science. We make what with regard to right to equality. We make what to the words of Aristotle, that equals to be treated equally and unequal unequally. This is what we are experiencing. And the next is social equality. Social equality is included in Article 15. Social equality is included in Article 15 of the Constitution. Here, we find the prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Here also there are many issues which arouse attention, among us. So let's first take the case of discrimination on the grounds of religion. In religion, there are cases which are which cause a controversy among us. For example, in recent times, though the Constitution prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, there are instances which prove that which prove that there is a discrimination in case of religion. For instance, we witness there are in recent times or in the past also, there are many discrimination with regard to with regard to like discrimination in religion, like yeah, we witness in Orissa and Bihar also, we witness burning alive or killing of the Christian missionaries, and like revocation of Article 370. Article 370 is about Jammu and Kashmir. Revocation of Article 370 of the Constitution can also be cited as an example of discrimination, a discrimination on grounds of religion. So this article, revocation of Article 370 is a very sensitive case. Because like it is more like what to say, trying to convert Jammu and Kashmir. In Jammu and Kashmir, as we find, majority of the population are belong to the Muslim community, and this revocation of Article 370 is also like let's say, like it is trying to attempt to convert the Muslim community to Hinduism. This is one point. And with regard to race and caste, also here also there is a ground. There is an example which proved the inadequacy of this provision. So there is no deniable fact that those who are in the mainland of the country shows this discrimination attitudes towards the other parts of the countries, especially like those who are living in the northeastern parts of India. Northeastern parts of the countries are discriminated, like because we have because of our chinky eyes or our flat nose. Those who are who are resident in the mainland saw discrimination towards us. This is what we also experience. Mongolian northeastern part of northeastern part of we have a chinky eyes and flat nose. This is also what I have experienced. Again, WhatsApp Facebook social media minhu yang min len na kan ti heta dali kan ti te kulai yang vai tam na hlo be amin len kan ti yang bi ho khadi minhu sit da tam takha aron ne china di khala ya khadin kan ne let en khani ron se se hala dipali indi hi enge biso po indi lo dang Indian po indi lo Nepali indi hi antia chani mizo po hi mshia da khunda again yang Mizoram on the pokha anshunga anshilo re emadi yang minen huwa khan so bang chodi khala pokha ni sita kha shim ta adi kan raise the kasa pokha di sita khatam tak obani khatyanga khanin again yang elrem siamite antinan rem siamite le khatyanga JJT mo khatyang te ngan na thun khadi Mizoram da kha anon actions anon somebody so la chodi Kangania again yang klaya ige kemadi kakadi very exposed to lowang dilowin inge Indian college ya khadin in poblo that sin tam tak ande di chubang chodin here also there is though the constitution prohibits discrimination discrimination in case of race and caste, there is still discrimination. Again, in case of caste and sex, here in case of caste and sex, there is also a discrimination, and there's a discrimination is visible like there are many issues which pose like especially in the matters of sex, there is like a discrimination. So most of like our society, the Indian society are what to say, it is a patriarchal society. So there is a discrimination between the two gender of the two gender, that is the female gender and the male gender. So from the past till today, there is like a discrimination. Male egoism or chauvinism is always a factor, or a factor which causes a discrimination in sex. For example, cha chu hei mi zo a ko tu a so din kan chim to lo wa thai boy ti te khatia aga enge dang mi enge anu pui te lo pui ni so din thai boy tong ti thai boy ti te khatia kha an bo de se em ani so wang so nin mi cha in kan ti tur bi kan kha min fix stop ta shi na di until nan a ho me mi a choi kan zo nun pa so din mi pa in me lu ma aya ka me lu ma aya oh tuka khadin tubula alo chua melu malo aya nu khabai emin badang thuma silang nu I bai chwana liam don nya ron to ti mo khatang ang chi ang kha ei ba chu ai dil tuk na ta ni sorin kha male egoism and chauvinism is the factor which causes a discrimination in the sex also. So so here today steps have been taken. There are issues or steps have been taken up like to uplift the position of the female gender, like by organizing platforms, awareness, seminar, and like by organizing platforms, awareness, seminar on the issues of gender equity, and this organization of these like these platforms or awareness or seminar has aroused suspicion of male gender, and they even protest. Some of the male gender have protest against it. So this is very clear. Equity kan ti equality kan ti tumna nilo kaya in uplift kan tumden ang kaanita sorkari min kalawang kadin equity ti po equity program ti po kanan yang equity of gender ang tiyan ti po kanan yang tulaya chuanin katya nga equity program ang kanne piang kanin male gender ipahaw kanin again daw again minun putkalan to be so bang so din mi cha minun putkalan to be ti in an dulawa an protest so china di. So let's move to the next slide. The next slide is economic equality. This is included in Article 16 of the Constitution. So in the matters of employment also, we witness a discrimination, or like we witness a controversial issue. Na kandilin antinan like there are many halo dilta ilang kina hadila po kadin hala hianin tupuin na dilamo na kan dilamo job kan apply ni swadin kadin ang tlang turun ditin constitution kadin sema sila do kadin ay tukat hello ni antirnan na an na don ta qualify vek zinga kan na post pangalo ta mi zanga ang changben anu dilo ta ani sulaya join there is special privileges can be do sakbi kha and they nge chida di thala tu te po khan so that is the case. So in economic equality also there is there is a what to say, a discrimination. And there another instance Another instance which causes a controversy in this economic quality is issuing of reservation of seats for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBC. OBC is other backward classes. So, like to those OBCs, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, they are in certain fields. They are given certain reservation, especially in the fields of UPSC exam and BS exam and vice versa. So this causes this issuing of a reservation causes a heart-burning tension to other general section of the citizen, and that they demand that this reservation of seats should be erased. And this about this untouchability, if I elaborate, to untouchable untouchable mahan yet upon me untouchable hosu again angai pui mo em chu bang chodin an ma di abang khanin engedang an ma ni wangin ege kami de khan dikna sanjuan de khila kharin ma alana em di ti kha shat kha ngai tel bukadi. So let me move to my next slide. If you have any question, you can ask me. The next fundamental rights is right to freedom. These fundamental rights covers from Article 19 to 22 of the Constitution. So in this right to freedom, the first point is right to freedom of speech and expression. Right to freedom of speech and expression: assemble peacefully without arms, form association and unions, movement, residence, acquire, hold, and dispose of property, profession, and occupation. That is in Article 19 of the Constitution. Here again, there is a many controversial issue. First, let's talk about freedom of speech and expression. Our Constitution guaranteed to all citizens of India freedom of speech and expression. Expression is through how we can express is like we can express ourselves through press or through social media. So here again, with regard to freedom of speech, though the Constitution guarantee us to all of us freedom of speech, there are certain circumstances or certain instances in which this provision is not available. Is not available or is not applicable to all of us. Example for example, in case of the government servants. Government servant ho khanin kan du ang kha kan soi wel thelawadi mo an na tram te khanin barang ti kan tlawo chungam chawin speech freedom of speech khichu kan enjoy ve thelawadi achang function kha chuan mo ka teng kha kan trom ve pum thelawadi. About expression, here again also there are many incidents which prove that the right to expression is not practicable. It is not practicable. Is not practicable in India. Like I will cite only the recent incidents in which like this expression, right to expression is not applicable. That the first incident is maybe like as I said, I'll point only the recent incidents. That is the passing of CAA. As you already know it, CAA was passed on 11 December 2019 and become into effect from January 2020 CAA ha ezola povan la pa hola to khanin CAA CAB atira kan CAB adiputa pas huwa khan khadil kha pasan huwa chat act alodita ani CAA alodita ani du lo khan ba da pa hola po kan phum sa ani enge CAA kan ti chuadin illegal migrants who are India ma khanin citizen again to be a citizen of India illegal immigrants etinan Bangladesh strongte khum sham khadin on pm root ang ho kha mo kha illegal migrants can become a citizen of India in spite of so much protest like this bill, the Dept bill, CAB bill was still passed and become an act the act of that and become the act of India. So it became an act of India from January 2020. And another case is that as we already mentioned, revocation of Article 330 in Jammu and Kashmir on 9th August 2019. 9 August 2019 that makhanin tilsem akadang ang protest agitation tam tak obani mo expression dulo na tam tak lantir sum khanin constitution khanin til tam apasni so in this freedom of speech and expression also there is this fundamental with regard to freedom of speech and expression, there we can what we can say is that there is a failure, a failure of there are so much failure, and like this provision is not absolute, and the next one is that like assemble peacefully without arms from association and unions. We don't need to like to talk much about it, because like we can assemble peacefully but without arms. Kan kalkom the mo kalkom chu amai ro chu kan kalkom wa hiadin te ang kalkom wa hiadin bitam tak engwang nge assemble kan ti chuadin entirnan, for example mi pakhati mi alo thong salta ani khamia ba than kum kalo zo te noi ta khlaya pro khadin kan pum khom na san khachu thimrim wa ani mo kha tyang living khlaya thu chan assemble peacefully without arms more and from association to his unions association or unions ka he a controversial lo thunga. And in the movement thung hi chuan constitution our constitution provides that like all the citizens of India can move freely, they can move freely or throughout India, but what we like though the constitution guaranteed to every one of us the freedom of movement, again here there is a limitness of the provision, that is like demand of ILP the inner line permit kan tite kala kan mo constitution so kala India citizen ho ka India citizen ho kha kan du na huna chuanin kan lu the kan ngi dang kan kal kwal vel the ni amero chu vai bezor ma chat ILP kan nei ka ti vai ho po hi du in an lu the lo ni mo khasi ho khu an in chhion na em tak chu to na ki asin ho te an tunhwa atang to aki asin ho bina wi an ti em chu an ma ni kha an ma ni rama khwanin ege dang phan lo khanin antinan barwari te bengali te kadang kha lo cheng kin to lu to ka an to chok le thi to si lo ni mo so bang chwari boy na kha thina ali to boy fo chen ni kasirama chwan ke asin ho kha alrin daliana te chwari vai ho to kha an buwa ame ro chu khulaya khanin andruma khanin nge dang a hu sa alu di to se chu bang chwanin vaina atheng chin di movement a hi chwarin zorma chwanin ILP kan ni di mo ILP kan de di ILP hianin tam tak vai rendu tu tam tak kha min vel sak the di so but in case this what we can say is that with regard to the freedom of movement, like there is still a limitedness of this provision, that is the demand of ILP is another provision which proved that this provision has its own limitedness. Acquire, hold, and dispose of property, profession, or occupation. We don't need to say much about it. And in this, sub number B, what we find is personal liberty. Personal liberty. So this article, this personal liberty covers from Article 20 to 22 of the Constitution. So no person, here again, as you have seen in the slide, like no person shall be persecuted and punished for the same offense more than once. Till me in we cut along this so din kabi atil this so atiran kalong pa isuanin alman pa adi arugnon de kaswadin we kat alman to kaswadin atil ru til pakat arug ka arug nang de swadi anli adi to kan de kirle ta ka runon de ta sila ege jang ngon the ani to lo bali this is in Hindi film also, like I don't know the name of the film, but in that film also, like there is some incident that like the actor he was punished. Kala kabi pabafli makadin santuwa berkani ni atatadi mi tatang kadin umama ase kabi an taka alo ti tak silwa subang swadin anwa kanin zela an thwa le po kadin kha santuwa kan khapa athat taka abairo chu atha tak to huwa po kadin voi ni kha athils ti swal alman chan kha a case dia kadin kadin alman nun le thi to lobani. And in sub number 2, what you find is that no person shall be convicted of an offense or violation of law or shall be subjected to penalty greater than which might have been inflicted. This point is clear. And in number 3, no person accused of an offense shall be compelled to witness against himself and vice versa. This is witness no person who is arrested and detained in custody without being informed. Again, detained in custody. And in the 5th point, what we find is that no person who is arrested and detained in custody shall be produced before the nearest magistrate within a period of 24 hours of such arrest. So this point is very clear. I hope that you all understand what is included in this personal liberty. Here again, what is there is one point which I like to point out again. This is with regard to the to those who are like to the police, related to the police officers. They cannot be arrested before sunset, before before sunset, and after she can be arrested only after sunrise. More until along this wala ru palang ru palang di swanin zana khan man the ani lawadi ni along tla at kataw ani chuanin khamil cha khan thil ti swal ma silang thil ti swal kha police an ron man thelo mo an ron man thei mi aloba chuani ni a chwa ve le khadi hanu kha an man thei ni thil ti swal ani chuan and the third fundamental rights is right against right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. So this right to exploitation is included in Article 23 to 25 of the Constitution. So this under this provision, right against exploitation is contained in Article 23 to 25 of the Constitution, and under this provision here also has its own vividness. What this provision says is that the right it prohibits all forms of forced labor, child labor, and traffic in human beings. Hello, in this hemi again yang hemi fundamental rights apo hianin enge almit na mo limitness ha kan hotel bukani forced labor out of poverty, because out of poverty also a person can be involved in any kind of labor. And with regard to child labor, till what age is a person considered a child? A person can be considered as a child till he attained the age till he was 14 years. 14 years kung so pali sin roilam pangso so child khadin pumandi tiswanin khalaya khan because of poverty in the poverty, out of poverty, a person can be involved in the forced labor or in the child labor, and trafficking human beings. India is a place where this human trafficking is very popular. We all know that. We have witnessed if we see in the crime scene also, there are many examples or many instances in which we find that human trafficking is very applicable. It is very popular in India. Trafficking ka and palawani human trafficking more fundamental rights can human trafficking here palawa amero also first win till we na kanin human trafficking po he again yang India ram chuanin India ram hi human trafficking nasa ber polan ya chuba kha chuanin ai no panga po enge no pang info lop te turan tam madi chuba kha chuanin ra thena wa khadin kan du emo first labor again yang na kan du lo so siam ko kha kan thu angai chida di. And this also is another issues which cause a controversial issue of our fundamental rights. The next point is right to freedom of religion. Now we have this article, this provision of the fundamental rights is contained in Articles 25 to 28 of the Constitution. We already talked much about, already mentioned about that religion, that there is a discrimination, but here, in this rights, we have seen the freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion, establishment of religious institution. Here again, there is so much though there is a discrimination in religion, but in here, what the constitution spelled out is a constitution in na aron so yang che chu lai zo kan zo thau nan khop me religious institution pho kan din thei until nan religion again dang domination shang kan lo om da a khadang ho khaswadin kan tu ang kuzong ang institution pho ha kan inglo kan ti theya chuba ka swadin thei practice and propagation of religion khlaya khanin Govt arun lat dira khan he tanga ko han se pa ilang ku tum lat dir khanin ubodian sani thegte min ben tirwa wai ni chang le buti te kan than chia mo khlaya khanin tam ta ka swadin atanga khanin india ra ma swadin ti chi di an tam ma line ke di swadin nge dikha ekla ge ro mi res kun se te kha kan sa thu de Katang Chiang Te Mo Kan Ang So Khan Aba Shalok Khan freedom of conscience and profession, practice and propagation of religion, establishment of religious institution are the rights which are included in the freedom of religion. So culture in with regard to the next fundamental rights is that cultural and educational rights. This is contained in Articles 29 to 30 of the Constitution. So about this cultural and educational rights, there is no much controversial issue. We can expose ourselves, our own culture, our own tradition. So for the Mizo people, this bamboo dance is our cultural dance. And those who came from the union, we also when they come and visit our country, our states, what we used to show them is about our bamboo dance Tupon culture shang kanita ani India ramchu we say unity, we are united by the diversity mo again dang shang kanita ani entianan for example mizoa po hey kantam ta ani mizoa swarin there are 11 tribes ni atu bzinga swarin there are 11 tribes, out of which 6 are considered as 6 tribes of Mizowa Khanin, Mizoti, Hunga Khanin, Anlang Zwaladi. And in the case of other our 7 other our 6 other sister, what to say in Naga for the Naga also. There are many tribes like the Lukha, Angami, and so much and so on. So different, we have our all these tribes have our own different culture. So in this cultural and educational rights, the Constitution spell out that any section of the citizens to give rights. The Constitution spell out and give rights to any section of the citizen to conserve their culture, language, and or script, and the right of minorities to establish and administer educational institution of their choice. So there are 6 minorities in India. There are 6 minorities. Do you know who are the minorities in the minorities? Interaction in wording interaction hindi look te ule 6 minorities India rama chuan 6 minorities kan uma sungte hoju tu tingele insha able tong char me ya question and answer so I dekina khani na eglo dona inum tolo hlomo mudile o so kina participants ki chu zhile pakwan and the individual program to man made it on made ya
Miss til pakhat lok hi host tan kan mo an bidang ho kha an mani in an du thu in an in mute thei lo or an lo ngai thlap tur anga yang
kabi chata po khan in answer thia chata po khan ro ding lo thia ron si thia okay, the six minorities of now let's talk about the six minorities of India. Those six minorities are Sikh, they are the Sikh, the Muslim, the Christian, Zoroastrians, Buddhists, and Jains. So the minorities in whom they are called the minorities in India are the Sikhs, the Muslim, the Christians, Zoroastrians, Buddhists, and Jains are the six minorities of. They are the six minorities of India. So like this, the six minorities, they can establish and administer educational institution of their choice. So there is no controversial issue in this point, in this provision also. And the last provision of the fundamental rights is right to constitutional remedies. This right to constitutional remedies covers from Article 32 to 35 of the Constitution. And it is important to note that this right to constitutional remedies is a provision to safeguard. It is a provision to safeguard all the other fundamental rights which we discussed before. Kami right to constitutional remedies kami englobi san chu hi constitutional until na san chu kami kan fundamental rights dang kan ti right to equality kan ti right against exploitation, right to freedom kan ti kate ang ho zong and fundamental rights dang zong kate ang ho safeguard mo milo hum him saktura siamadita ani. So in this article, these articles guarantee to the citizen to move to the Supreme Court for the enforcement of their fundamental rights, and the Constitution provides 5 writs through which individual can protect his fundamental rights. The first one is habeas corpus. Even me, like I used to hear about like this habeas corpus, but I like I don't know what this habeas corpus was still like because like we have not touched very much about the meaning of this habeas corpus. This habeas corpus is about, it is a remedy for a person wrongfully detained. The meaning of habeas corpus is like a remedy for a person wrongfully detained or restrained. Kaya nga til tiswal mi alo til tiswal mi asilo tiswal ang an pu ho te kana egedang nga idam til na ang di so mo kaya kadita and it is interesting to know that Europe was the first to introduce this habeas corpus. And the next is mandamas. So mandamas literally means we command. We command. So we command. It is an order which command a person or a body or person to do that which it is his or its duty to do. So mandamas is it is like commanding a person, and in the we don't need to talk much about like this writs. The third is prohibition, and like in slide also I have shared all the all the meaning of the writs. it is prohibition is also is issued by the higher court to stop proceeding in the lower court on the ground of excess jurisdiction or violation of the rules of natural justice. So like if the lower court kanin gedang excess saka antun ina mo ingedang antun ina ka pela til anlo ti ni chuadin higher court kanin top tura abushatir thena ka that is called prohibition. So like as we know, like our code is the code of India is like a pyramid. In the pyramid, we have find that our code is like a pyramid. In the uppermost, that is the top. The top, on the top, we find the Supreme Code, and as and in the second part, like there is high codes, different high codes. At the bottom there is the local codes. So like the Indian codes is like a pyramid. So like if the lower codes have if they have done an excessive jurisdiction or violate the rules of natural justice, they can be issued by the higher courts to stop their proceedings. And this writ is therefore just the opposite of the mandamas. And in the fourth, we find statutory. This statutory is an order commonly issued to a lower court to transfer some pending cases before it to the higher court for its scrutiny and decision. This statutory is also, it is if you read that, it is very important. It is very easy to understand, and it is this statutory is about transferring. If the lower courts are in every are working very slowly, or the pending case, if they have so many pending cases, the higher court can issue an order to transfer the case which they have taken up. They have taken up for scrutiny and decision. So in the last one, we find qua waranto, which means by what authority, and this waranto is issued to prevent illegal assumption of any public office by anybody till the court has decided the matter. That is all about the writs of the different writs of the fundamental rights. And I'm taking very a long time, I suppose, because like this, though there are many issues and controversial issues and many things to talk about, but if I'm taking too much, too long time, it will be very boring to you all. And Miss Mimi is also still there to. She's going to she have to present another important topic. So to that I'll try to end up my talk on this fundamental rights. I don't know whether it is resourceful or resourceful to you or not, but still that is all I can do. And to end up with that, with the fundamental rights, all I can say is thank you to all. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to Madam Partey for her inspiring, interesting, and thought-provoking presentation. Thank you, Madam Partey. I hope you all understand and learn what are the rights you have to enjoy. You are guaranteed to enjoy as a citizen of India. Thank you very much. Okay, Madam Party. Madam Party.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please leave the screen.
Okay.
Your
I
slide is
I have left the screen already, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, for the second presenter, we have Miss Mimi Rosangpui, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, Govt Champhai College. She will speak on fundamental duties. Regarding fundamental duties, even 3 decades after the incorporation in the Indian Constitution, there is no much awareness among citizens. So today we have an opportunity to include this topic. So there is always a saying that every right has a corresponding duty. So as a citizen of India, we have certain rights guaranteed to us. At the same time, there are certain duties which are expected to be fulfilled by every citizen of India. These fundamental duties help in the promotion of a sense of discipline and commitment towards the nation. So Miss Mimi Rosangpui will deal with all these things. Miss Mimi joined Govt Champhai College on 27th March 2012 as assistant professor. She is a MPhil degree holder and she is currently PhD scholar. She got through NET in 2008 and she had published 2 articles and 1 book, that is MPhil dissertation. We are very lucky to have such kind of distinguished and learned professor as a resource person. Let me invite Miss Mimi and let me invite her. Miss Mimi, time is yours. Miss Mimi, please take your time.
Okay, thank you, Madam. I think it is audible. So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us today. And again, welcome to this workshop organized by our department, that is Department of Political Science, Govt Champhai College. And the purpose of this workshop is to have such kind of awareness about the fundamental rights and duties to enjoy. We have to enjoy it as a citizens of India. Okay, I will not take a long time because you may be getting bored. So I will just give explanation about fundamental duties. But before going through that fundamental duties, I just want to highlight some of the background of these fundamental duties. Okay, and we heard that there is 3 types of emergency in India. The first emergency is in 1962, that is in India and China war, and the second one is 1971, that is India and Pakistan war. After that second emergency, the whole nation was in suffering. As we all know, that GDP was reduced and the unemployment was increasing. and there is also oil crisis, drought, railway strike. So many other problems have been arising in India. And the third emergency, which is the third emergency of a nation, was imposed by Indira Gandhi in 1975. And this, by using Article 352, Indira Gandhi advised the President Farooquddin Ali Ahmed that emergencies should be imposed all over the country. And after that, after the third emergency, that major leaders of the opposition parties, that along with the leader of the Congress, who were opposing that emergency imposed by Indira Gandhi, they are arrested. That Congress also arrested. Who are opposing emergency are all elected by the signal of the Prime Minister. Okay, and during this, no individual used to live with any right and freedom. Okay, and even in the newspaper also, before the news could be published, it was censored by Information and Broadcasting Ministry. That emergency, which lasted 2 years, that is till 1977, is called the darkest period of India's freedom and democracy. And this emergency, third emergency, introduced major change in the constitution. That is, we are going to study today. And during this third emergency, the government of India felt that India have no realization of their duties. So here, so in 1975, so while emergency Indian government formed a committee, this was very important. One you have to remember is that the committee was Sardar Swaran Singh Committee. This one is very important in the fundamental duties. This recommendation is one of the most important. And fundamentals, these fundamental duties was not even written in the constitution. While framing the constitution, no fundamental duties. We found no fundamental duties. So this committee, that is Swaran Singh Committee, recommended that we have to introduce a separate and dedicated chapter for fundamental duties. So the Congress accepted the recommendation of this Sardar Swaran Singh Committee, and the government came up with the 42nd Amendment Act. Okay, before 42nd Amendment Act in 1976, we don't have this kind of fundamental duties. So after the 42nd Amendment Act, we have this fundamental duties. That is, that 42nd Amendment Act was in 1976. And one thing we have to remember is that fundamental duties is more or less similar with the fundamental right. Okay, and oh, I forgot to share screen. I will excuse me, only 1 minute. Okay, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to share my screen. This was the thing that I have already discussed earlier, that emergency, without the proclamation of the third emergency, that period is called as the darkest period of India's freedom. And regarding these fundamental duties, as I have already, if I have just said about that, it is almost more or less similar with the fundamental right. Okay, fundamental duties is present in Part 4A, Article 51A. Fundamental duties, as I have just mentioned, that it is not written in the Constitution, but the 42nd Amendment Act added these fundamental duties. And while framing that fundamental duties, there is only 8 fundamental duties, and later 2 fundamental duties have been added. And by the 86th Amendment Act, 1 fundamental duties have been added to the Constitution. This means that now we are having 11 fundamental duties. And one thing we have to remember is that these fundamental duties was not found in the other developed countries. So these fundamental have been found only in Japan and India. Japan and India is the only countries who has these fundamental duties. And this is the fundamental duties of the citizens of India. As a citizens of India, we have these fundamental duties. So rights come along with certain duties. As a citizens of India, we enjoy fundamental right, but our jobs does not end there. Okay, we also expected to perform such kind of duties. We have to follow certain duties. The citizens of India have to perform their duty properly. We need to function. So if we want to function well as a country, so we have to follow these fundamental duties. Okay, first one is abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Oh, this one is very clear. To abide by the Constitution means we have to obey the Constitution and the law of the country. Okay, it seems pretty simple, this one. Every citizens have to follow the rules and regulation of the country, that is the Constitution of India. And the national flag and the national anthem. We should stand up in attention while the national anthem is sung. We are doing, and we need to handle the national flag with also respect. And all of us have to be aware of the rules that we should observe while handling the national flag. I think you understand this one. And number B is that cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspired the national struggle for freedom. This one is also, what is the meaning of noble ideas? What is the meaning of noble ideas? Noble ideas that we have already studied in the modern India also. We know that how we got independence, who are the freedom fighters, how the country, how we are using it, and we should cherish our noble ideals that who fight for India's independence, that we have to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspired the national struggle for freedom. That means how that is because of that noble ideals we are having that independence. So we have to cherish and follow that noble ideals inspired by the national struggle for freedom. Okay, and number C is that uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. To uphold and protect the sovereignty. What is the meaning of sovereignty? Sovereignty is the power of Indian government to take decision independently. That means that countries alone, without the interference of other countries, or that foreign countries, without interference of foreign countries. This means that to uphold and protect the sovereignty. Okay, and another thing was that as a citizens of India, that unity and integrity of India means that we should not support, we don't have to support any movement to divide the country. That can divide the country. We don't have to. We will not support that kind of division in any respect. That one. And the next one is defend the country and rendered national service when called upon to do so. This means that when the country is calling you, this one is very simple. When a country is calling you, you should go. If the country needs you, you have to render yourself so that you can work for the country. So this means that when a country is calling you, needed you, you should go. That's all. And the next one is that promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among the people of India, transcending religion, religious, linguistic, and regional, sectional diversities, and to renounce practice derogatory to the dignity of women. This one is, I think you can understand this one. This one is everyone, we all the peoples, all the citizens who are living in India are brothers and sisters. We have to promote that harmony, the spirit of common brotherhood among ourselves. And we our responsibility is to imply unity among ourselves. So we all are, you have to accept that we all are brothers and sisters. And the next one is that value and preserve the rich heritage of a country's composite culture. This one is that we have to preserve the culture that is present in the Indian context. What kind of culture? So India, as we have already mentioned, that India is a unity in diversity. So we have to preserve those culture, even if it is in the minorities or those include in different culture or minorities. So we have to, that means that we have to preserve our own culture. So we have to preserve that other, we have to respect other culture also. And the next one is that protect and improve the natural environment, include forests, lakes, river, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. This means that we need to protect and improve the natural environment. This includes forests, lakes, river. Here in this, there is an Environment and Forest Protection Act that is in 1986 and Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This act covers all of this, means that we as a citizens of India have such kind of duties to protect and improve that natural environment, that including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife. Okay, and the next one is develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. This means that we have to develop our scientific temper. We need to develop ourselves. Okay, develop and to the younger citizens, we need to develop such kind of curiosity inside them, and we should try to proceed to the next level. This means that we need to develop ourselves, we develop our scientific temper, and we need to develop curiosity inside the citizens of India. So this one is very important. So for reaching higher level, we need to develop our scientific temperature. Scientific temper, not temperature. Okay, and the next one is safeguard public property and to abjure violence. This means that as citizens of India, we must safeguard public property and defend the country at any cost. This is and to abjure violence. There should be no violence within the country. And we should not involve or participate in any such kind of activity that can damage public property. And we should not inflict violence to other. Infliction of violence to other, that is prohibited. And also, and that everything, we should not involve in such kind of activity that can damage public property. So this one is safeguard of public property and observe violence. This one is also very important. And number J, strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and activities so that the nation constantly rise to higher level of endeavor and achievement. This one is also very simple. This one is very clear. So we have to strive to work excellence in all spheres of individual, and we have to work together. We have to work collectively so that the nations can raise to higher level and level of endeavor and achievement. So we need to work together. So this one is also very important. And this is the 86th Amendment Act, which later added by the later added this one is very important. That 86th Amendment Act it just added in 2002, that is the 86th Amendment Act. This means that to provide opportunities for education to his child or ward between age of 6 and 14 years. This duty was added by 86th Amendment Act 2002. This means that we have just listened in the previous lecture. So that providing opportunities for education to his child or what between the age of 6 and 14 years. This is why it is written in these fundamental duties. That is the responsibility of the mother, the guardian, the father, the elder, self in the family have the responsibility to send their children to the school between the age of 6 and 14 years. That is not the responsibility of the children. It is the responsibility of the mother, guardian, to send their children to school. That all is the fundamental duties of fundamental duties of the children. Here, the main objective of this fundamental duties is that fundamental duties act as a warning. How? This is before starting on this objective, we have to remember that this fundamental right is available for the citizens of India, but citizens of India it's also available for and applicable for non-citizens. But that fundamental duties is applicable to only to the citizens of India who are living in India. And what is the main purpose, the main objective of this fundamental duties is that first, fundamental duties act as a warning. This means that when there is any antisocial activity like burning of flags, disrespect of the Constitution, against all these antisocial activities, fundamental duties act as a warning that you will know that that you are not supposed to do it like this. This means that fundamental duties act as a warning. And the next one is that fundamental duties is a kind of reminder. Reminder means, I think you understand that. Fundamental duties, why it is called a reminder? It reminds that you have the right to enjoy your fundamental rights. Okay, but along this, you have to be responsible towards your duty, and this means that is a reminder. And the next one is that fundamental duties promote discipline and commitment. This means that to achieve the national goals, fundamental duties promote discipline and commitment also. And here I read that there is a loophole in this fundamental duties. What is the meaning of loophole? Loophole fundamental is that it is a non-enforceable right. Non-enforceable rights. What is the meaning of non-enforceable right? Non-enforceable means if you do not follow the fundamental duties. Okay, you cannot be fined or penalized for not following the fundamental duties. That depends on you whether you want to follow this fundamental right or not fundamental duties. That is your duty, but no one can punish you by not doing your duty. So that is only your duty, but these fundamental duties is not non-enforceable right. You cannot be fined or penalized for not following these fundamental duties. For this reason, it is also known as a sanctionless duty. This is also called as a sanctionless duty. And it doesn't matter if you are not following fundamental duties, you will not be sanctioned for that. So this means that as a citizens of India, you have to know your duty, even if you are not punished by not doing your duty. But if you are a citizens of India, you have to follow these fundamental duties. This one is very important. But the thing is that, this loophole can also be overcome. That means that if a parliament enact a law, then the duties can also be enforced. But now this is not enforced, so it is a non-enforceable right. So I think you will understand about these fundamental duties. That all I can present today. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions at the end of this presentation. So I will give back my time to Madam Hingte. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much to Miss Mimi for her fruitful and scholastic speech. Tikhanin zona kan nei chuanin mizo tongin kanin zo tonga mizo tongin kanin chang tonga abikin fundamental rights kan ngai thatoa fundamental duties kan ngai thalea chuwangin zona te kha a om theya zirlai lama tang point zirti tu tang point chu zona kan hong anga kan host te khanin an voice kha share thei turin anda thei chuan participants te kan lom hle ang zona huni lo hong angu an zo deuhle zirlai tang te pon fundamental rights chung chang te fundamental duties chung changa shia thiam lo le zo du nei inom chuan zirlai atang te po khan ron zo deuhle
So any question?
zo tu nei kan om lo chấm mi nghe zo tu nei kan om to lo mi om lo niang mi smo
Okay.
chat box an om lo thu an ron saya zo na hun chu ti khan kan ti top mai don ya okay, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the participants of this workshop for your presence and contribution to make this program a success. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for attending, and we hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation. Lastly, I would like to point out Mahatma Gandhi observation that real rights are a result of the performance of a duty. With this, I will wind up this workshop. Bye-bye.